Hello there, everyone new and old to the channel. I'm James Merrill of the Popcorn Ready podcast. Today's review is of Dolittle, which is a fantasy family film which follows Dr. Dolittle helping Queen Victoria with his menagerie of exotic animals for company in trying to find a cure before it's too late. The eccentric doctor has become a hermit since his wife passed away, so the adventure comes as a shock with him setting sail to a mythical island. Dolittle was released in February this year. It has a PG rating with the director being Stephen Gaghan and has as its main stars Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Dolittle, Antonio Banderas and Michael Sheen, with a whole host of other big actors doing the voiceovers of the animals, ranging from John Cena to Tom Holland. The production companies who worked on this movie were Perfect World Pictures, Universal, Team Downey, and RK Films. The movie is over an hour and a half long, and all I can say is it was not time well spent. My only few likes about the movie was the special effects on the animals, with a lot of the humour coming from them. So I'll give kudos to the scriptwriter because, that's the only thing that makes it mildly appealing. I also quite liked the costumes and setup of, the scenery and the places they go to. I mean, it is set in a different time period, more so in Victorian England. And to be fair, Robert Downey Jr. is trying to act in the movie by putting on a Welsh accent, which I think works but also doesn't as the film goes on. Lastly, I think the relationship is shown very well between Dolittle and his care and love for the animals, who are not only his friends, they're more like family. I really like how some of the scenes interject with him actually speaking in the animals' languages. I think the director really put that across quite well in, capturing the imagination for the audience of what Dr. Dolittle can do with his power of, speaking to wild animals and caring for them. Now on to some of the critiques. First up, Robert Downey Jr.'s accent is quite humdrum throughout the whole movie. It's quite hard for him to put a lot of expression into his voice, so some of the scenes which require a bit more emotion don't really, give us that impact and feeling we should have, leading to many underwhelming points in the movie. Next up, and this is my biggest critique in the whole film, is the storyline. It goes from scene to scene and point to point without giving us any twists and turns as we're watching it in our cinema seats. The story would surprise a 5 or 6 year old, but not really a grown adult. The story creates no tension and suspense throughout, with you just knowing that the right thing's going to happen or the correct thing will fall in place for Dolittle and his friends on their journey. On their journey, they're also being chased by Michael Sheen, who is playing the villain in this particular film. And, it's a very comedy, children's character type of a role. He despises Dolittle, but isn't really that bad a guy. It's quite laughable, really. You don't feel that really there's that tension and hate between them both. Lastly, a few scenes before the end, I just didn't get it. I mean, how unoriginal. A Eden tree and magical fruit, a dragon, like, what on earth's going on? It's one thing talking, to animals that are alive and well on the planet now, but bringing dragons into the mix, bringing a lot of, ship sailing and voyaging into the mix. I mean, it kind of felt like the director wanted to, go with a Sinbad sort of approach, but I don't think it really worked for this film. I think it needed a bit more of a blend of sceneries and places to make it gel together as one. Well, there's one question I know you're all wondering, and that is it sweet or is it salted? Well, this one is definitely salted. with my overall score being 3 out of 10. If it wasn't for, the CGI, I'd probably give it a lower score. I'm really disappointed. I thought the new take and twist from the older Dolittle films, featuring Eddie Murphy, I thought it was going to be a nice change up, but it really didn't work. 2 films to check out instead. One with a great storyline featuring Steve Carell is Evan Almighty, and if you want out and out humour, again featuring animals heavily, would be Ace Ventura: Pet Detective with Jim Carrey. As always, thank you for listening. Please follow and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.